Yo boys, this is the video you have been waiting for. The ultimate guide on how to go pro in 2025. So if you are ever confused about what to do or how to make more progress in this game, then just come back to this video, make it full screen and pay attention. Because the people who take my advice, they will make more progress in a week than most people do in a month. Now, to prove that I kinda know what I'm talking about when it comes to making progress in this game, my name is Fragger Mike. I am a competitive player with 3.5k PR. You can see some of my best placements on the screen right now. So to the right of the screen you will see all of my solo placements, and to the left you will see my placements from 2025, so this year. And I'm not a pro player yet, but I can promise you that everything in this presentation is an absolute fact. So if you are a critical thinker and you're like, can I really trust this guy? Then you'll probably notice that everything I say is just the truth. Now let's begin with lesson number 1, the basics. Your goal is to go pro in this game. So we need to define what a pro player is. A pro player is someone that makes consistent earnings. And I hope we can all agree on this definition. Now to do so, you will need to place high on the tournament leaderboards, right? That is the bottom line of Fortnite competitive. Pro players, they always place the highest on the tournament leaderboards. Now here's a little secret. Did you know that if you get more points in a tournament, then you will place higher on the leaderboard? I know this is crazy, right? Crazy information. The more points you get, the higher you will place. But that is why going pro in this game is all about points, points, points. Now there are two types of points you can earn. There are placement points and elimination points. If you win more games, then you will get more points. And if you get more kills, then you will get more points. And that is why there are two types of skills. There are game-winning skills. So think about things like off spawns, rotates, positioning, getting surge, awareness, using mobility items, finding refreshes and taking height. These are game-winning skills, and if you improve your game-winning skills, then you will win more games and get more points. And the second category are your fighting skills. So think about aim, building, editing, piece control, peeks, baiting, predicting and pressuring. When you have better fighting skills, then you will get more kills and you get more points. And going pro is all about points, points, points. Now typically in your tournaments, you will notice that about 70% of your points will come from placement. And about 30% will come from eliminations. Now here's a quick self-analysis test. Imagine you're in the solo cash cup in high elo. So not low elo, not mid elo, high elo. What seems easier to do? Are you more confident that you can get 5 kills in mid-game fights? Or are you more confident to get a top 5 in that game? If you are more confident to get the kills, then you're probably a better fighter. And if you are more confident to get a top 5 or win the game, then your game-winning skills are probably better than your fighting skills. Now lesson number 2, active learning. Fortnite is actually very similar to the game of chess. Because if you lose a game, it means that you made one or multiple mistakes, just like this. I don't know if you guys ever play chess, but this is the scholar's mate, where you can use the bishop and the queen to checkmate the king, because both pieces target this pawn, and that is why obviously this was a mistake. Now the more mistakes you make, just like this, the less you will win, and the less points you will get. And that is a problem, because remember, points, points, points. Now if you want to win more, then you need to stop making mistakes. Now this is easier said than done, obviously, but the way you figure out your mistakes is by asking yourself the number 1 question. And that is, why did I die? And if you don't take my word for it, then listen to the advice of World Cup winner Booga.
Look at every single time you die and write down why you died. Every single time, if you're doing that, you're gonna improve. I do it mentally every time I die. I think, why did I die? What did I just do wrong? What is the solution for it?
And I hope you're not gonna question the advice of World Cup winner Booga, who won $3 million in World Cup. And he's still a top tier pro to this day. So in your most recent tournament, you gotta ask yourself the question, why did you die? Was it a problem with your fighting skills? Or maybe your game winning skills? Or both? And you figure out the answer to the number 1 question, why did I die? The number 1 question, by VOD reviewing. And I've already made an amazing video about how to VOD review inside Fortnite Academy. So just head over to Classroom, to the grinding course, and then to the OG grind course. And then you will find how to VOD. Now this literally talks about everything you need to know about how to VOD review, and I didn't want to make that video again. So just go check that out. Now lesson number 3, passive learning. Imagine you are placed in a room with in front of you a table with 2 buttons on it. A red button and a green button. Obviously, you're kind of curious what these buttons do. So you're gonna press one of these buttons. You're gonna press the red button. But when you press this red button, you get an electric shock. And then you think, oh shit, the red button hurts. Ah, ouch, ouch. And then you are placed in a new room with all of these different types of buttons. Now, which button are you gonna press? Any one of these. And the reason why you're gonna avoid the red button is because, of course, you're not stupid. You pressed the red button before and you noticed, oh shit, it hurts. So your brain automatically associates red buttons with an electric shock, with pain, with something you shouldn't do. And by the way, boys, if you're enjoying this video, then this is your moment to subscribe. But let's say you play 1v1 build fights all day. It could be somewhat useful to VOD review and actively learn from your mistakes. But this is not completely necessary because you will automatically learn from your mistakes anyways. Let's say you make a bad peek like this. Then you will get punished and get bumped in the face. So you will automatically start adjusting yourself and try to make better peaks. So you get hit less and you die less. And this is an amazing feature of your brain where you don't necessarily need to actively learn. And you will just passively learn through practice. And the same thing applies for tournaments and scrims. So this player right here, he did a bad crash pad play. And he got beamed mid-air by Chari. Now he could go back in replays and realize, okay, maybe I shouldn't have used the crash pad in this situation. But because he died, his brain will automatically register this as a mistake. And in the future, he will try to avoid the same mistake. Just like this guy hitting the red button and then getting an electric shock. He's gonna avoid red buttons in the future and try to press another button. Because the red button is obviously a mistake. And you don't even need to actively think, oh, I should probably not hit the red button again. This already happens in the back of your mind. So that is the difference between active learning and passive learning. And passive learning is perfectly fine to do. The bottom line is that practice will lead to improvement, no matter what. Yes, feedback could help, but practice will always lead to improvement. Now on this channel I talk about grinding quite a lot, and that is because grinding is basically doing a lot of practice. And because practice leads to improvement, then grinding leads to a lot of improvement. And I'm pretty sure your goal is to make a lot of improvement in this game and go pro. And that is the reason why we need to grind. We grind. It is literally the banner of my channel right now. Lesson number 4. Training. There is a very big difference between playing and training. The problem with having Fortnite competitive as your goal is that it is a video game, and playing and training can be done at the same time. And you might think that this sounds amazing, nice, I can play and train at the same time, it sounds fun, right? But this is actually a very big problem, because some of you guys will play like a little kid playing video games. You will play for fun, you will play with your friends, stuff like that. But if you want to become a pro player, then you need to train. If you want to go pro, you need to train. You need to train like a professional, be locked in. Training is practicing with a goal. Your general goal is to improve in this game, right? But then you can go a bit more specific. So maybe you can take one aspect like, my goal is to improve my aim. But I want you to go even deeper than that. What type of aim do you want to train? So maybe you notice, okay, I need to improve my tracking aim. And then you think, okay, but what type of tracking aim? Maybe my close range tracking aim needs improvement. And then you go another step further and you say, I want to train my horizontal close range tracking aim. The more specific you get, the more focus that you have, and the faster you will improve. Now, if you are ever confused about what type of skill you need to work on, then I suggest you fill out a scrim spreadsheet. And you probably heard me talking about this before on this channel. Now, a scrim spreadsheet looks like this. You fill out all of the information about the scrims you play. And the most important information is your main mistake for each game. So this guy, for instance, played over 300 scrims, about 330 scrims. And he wrote down the main mistake for every single game, with even more details to the right here. But then you can get data just like this, and you notice, okay, I died to bad positioning in 19.5% of my games. So data like this will tell you what you need to focus on. For instance, this guy, he needs to work on his bad aim and his bad awareness. Those are the two biggest problems in his gameplay. The next step is to set targets. Most players, they always say like, I feel like I made a lot of progress, but they don't really know. You need to know if you made progress or not. And that is why targets are so useful, because targets make your progress visible. So here's an example. Let's say your goal is to improve your fighting, because you noticed your fighting was lacking. Then a target you can have is that you want to get an average of 5 kills in a tournament, let's say. So next tournament, you want to get an average of 5 elims per game. You could do the same thing for ranked. So let's say you play 10 games, then you need to get a total of 50 kills. So you get an average of 5 kills. Another example could be your goal is to fix your off spawns because you died off spawn way too much. Then your target could be, I want to survive off spawn 7 out of 10 games, either in scrims or maybe in tournaments. And then when you play a tournament and you notice, okay, I died off spawn 5 out of 10 games, then you will know if you fell short, because your target was to survive off spawn 7 out of 10 games. So you can very clearly see if you hit the target or not. And if you fell short, then you gotta ask yourself the question, why? Why did I fall short? Why did I not reach my target? And how can I improve my gameplay so that I do hit my target? Now here's your assignment. Step number 1, play 10 games. And this could either be in a tournament, in scrims or in ranked. And preferably a tournament, of course, because that is the most important thing. You want to get points in your tournaments and place high. Step 2 is to review and analyze your mistakes. Ask yourself the question, why did I die? And write it down in a scrim spreadsheet just like this. And you can do the exact same thing for your tournament games. So tournament game 1 to 10, and then write down once again which place you got, how many kills, the date, and most importantly, the main mistake you made and more details about that mistake. So step number 2 was to VOD review and ask yourself, why do you die? Step number 3, determine your focus. And you determine your focus by looking at the data. So this guy might want to work and focus on his bad aim and his bad awareness. Step number 4, create a weekly target. So let's say you're trying to improve your aim. You determined in step number 3 that your focus was going to be on aiming. Then a very nice way to set a target is to set a target inside Kovacs. Just say to yourself that you want to hit a certain high score on a certain scenario. So by the end of the week, you want to hit this high score. And then step number 5 is grind. Now the beautiful thing about this assignment is that you can do it over and over again. If you just repeat this same process every week, you will make so much more progress than people who don't do this. And it doesn't matter if you have 100 PR or 100,000. Now if you appreciate all of the hard work I put into this video, then maybe you can also do this smaller assignment. So step number 1 is liking this video. Step number 2, subscribe to the channel. Step number 3, comment WVODs or a W or whatever, just to boost the algorithm. And then step number 4, share this video with someone else that might think this is useful. Now if you could do these 4 things, I would highly appreciate it. It might only take you like 30 seconds. Now as always boys, keep grinding and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.